Alrighty, so... Okay, let me quickly open the game. After loading screen simulator, I have another gem for you that is, well, cutscene and elevator simulator, aka BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite has been in Shots Fired before. It's quite a bit ago, I think, though, and since then a lot of things have changed. Earlier this year we had a community agreement on allowing a modification that removes a crucial RNG part of the game, because there is a gear called Hill Runner's Head, which is pretty much essential to get like the fastest possible time in this run. If you don't have it, it loses you about 8 to 10 minutes, maybe even more by now. And the community has agreed on allowing that modification for the leaderboards. So there's now an any percent HRH mod category, which we will be using for this run today as well. So yeah, also, well, I can explain that while we go, I guess. Timing will start as soon as Elizabeth starts talking, so it's still a couple of seconds to go. New game. Easy, obviously, because this is not Darksiders. And yeah, BioShock Infinite. Really cool run. Since since the mod was allowed, actually there was an influx of new runners who got interested in the game, who didn't want to run it before because of the obvious RNG reasons. And the new runners, together with some older runners coming back, found a couple of new skips that actually pushed the time down to sub 140 minutes by now. Sub 1 hour 40 minutes. And yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. We're gonna see some new skips, hopefully. And yeah.
Are you going to just sit there?
As compared to what? Standing?
The gamma is pretty high, but it's also because of disabling some lighting stuff and everything. You can also see the water here in the boat. It's not supposed to be like that. We are basically modifying the config a little bit to get more FPS for a later skip in the game, or in the run. Yeah, might not have the best graphics here, but well, it's still a speedrun, so.
Excuse me. How much longer? One goes into an experiment.
Okay, so the first half of BioShock Infinite any percent is not too exciting still, even though there are like 1 or 2 skips. But it's, for me personally, one of the more cool parts of the run still, because we're also using some additional DLC, which allows us to run faster whenever we pick up some food items, or also drink items. And yeah, so that should be pretty good. These are the Lutece twins. We're gonna see them a couple of times through the run. They're gonna do some philosophic discussions. And yeah. First part of the run is mostly about optimizing movement. A little bit RNG with the food drops. Not too bad though. Nothing too bad, I mean. And yeah, we gotta go up to the lighthouse here now. Knock on the door. It's kind of, the beginning is very similar to BioShock 1. There's also a lighthouse. Obviously here we are not going below the sea. At least not yet. Oops. So this is cupboard strats, which I gloriously failed. Only saves like a second though. And we're coming up to the hardest puzzle in the game, or the run. The belts. Let's see if we can do this. As it seems we can't do it. Gotta reset. But yeah, the first like 6-7 minutes of the run are a bit dull. Gotta wait for some cutscenes. But we can listen to some comfy horn sounds, I guess. Practice some SJing, aka super jumping. I blame Jarko. Oh, you can, by the way, see that we're using the HRH mod in the top left corner of the screen. There's an indicator. It's basically to just know when a person is using that mod, to verify that. And what this mod does, as I have said before, is it gives us the HRH gear drop 100% every time. The problem is, normally that drop has about a 2% chance of appearing in, well, at least the arcade part of the game, but this mod completely removes that RNG. Some people were against it, like most of the people were for allowing it, but yeah, in the end it got allowed and it only pushed the time down further, so it can get more runs going without having to grind like 20 hours to get a single world record pace run.
Ascension in the count of 5. Count of 4. 3.
Perfect bell or riot.
1. Ascension. Ascension.
Just stay calm.
5,000 feet. 10,000 feet. 15,000 feet.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Running is great, but are we shooting? I can promise you that we're going to fire quite some shots this run. Just wait a little bit. Yeah, Distortion 2 still has the world record for any percent unmodded. Even though I want to get back to that category at some point. So this beginning cutscene here, while not really great for the speedrun, is really cool casually. There's lots of things to look at and it's pretty well made in terms of cinematography. It looks much more impressive though on higher graphic settings, which we obviously are not using right now. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt deck skip. It should work, but we'll see. If it's not working, then we'll just do it the regular way. But that's still like an hour to go. First, we have to make our way through the welcome center here. As I said before, mostly movement optimization here. And we have to get baptized still. First of many times getting drowned in this run, or during this run. This staircase is actually my final enemy, or the hardest enemy for me in the game. You can easily get stuck here. You're trying to optimize your speed.
On this day of days, we recommit ourselves to our city and to our prophet, Father Comstock. We recommit. Is it someone new? Someone from the Sodom below, newly come to Columbia to be washed clean before our prophet, our founders,
So,
and our
the
Lord?
preacher
Passage into the
wants
city.
to
Sick to the city.
baptize us.
Brother, the only way to Columbia is through rebirth in the sweet waters of baptism. Will you be cleansed, brother?
Hey,
I
And yeah, this game like has really cool narrative in general. We're gonna see a lot more of that because of all the cutscenes. Especially the epilogue that comes after the final fight. It's pretty long, but also like really cool casually.
doesn't look clean.
So if you haven't played this game yourself, I would highly recommend you to do so because it's a really fun game. Some might argue it's not as good as like BioShock 1 or something, but that's kind of preference, I guess. This looks way more impressive as well on higher graphic settings, like this apocalyptic cutscene. I run my games vanilla, Darko, except for the mod. Alright, we have arrived at
Hastings will learn the difference between
Columbia.
baptizing a man and drowning the Delaware. Need to find a landmark and figure out where the hell I am. Just because the city flies don't mean it ain't.
And coming up is the first skip here. There's a like we have to usually wait for the bridge to get up. But what we can do here, with the right timing, we can jump around an invisible wall. You can't do it earlier than I just did it, because if you do it too early, then the game will respawn you on the upper part. So we kind of have to wait for an audio cue there. That worked out fine. Now we have the parade, where we have to wait, unfortunately, for this bridge to come up and these, well, parade wagons to pass by. Really much to do. I forgot her name. I think this woman had a name, but yeah, got it unfortunately. Kinda just wants to get to this spot. Okay, this bridge, jumping there is a little bit faster than just waiting and running forward. Or at least it prevents you to get stuck, because sometimes the bridge can act weirdly, physically. And we're soon coming up to another skip, which was only recently found. It's a new iteration of the raffle skip, which, as the name suggests, skips the whole raffle. And it's faster by, not sure, like, was it 15-20 seconds or something? But it's also a bit harder, even though, like, at least with a free scrolling mouse, literally cheating, we can also do it pretty consistently. Let's see how that goes. So we're gonna stand up here on this pillar. Jump up here. And by doing this, we can land down here, out of bounds, and jump back inbounds again, loading the area around us. It's like a new version, as I said. The other version went to the other side of the fair there and had to jump on top of a sign and then get out of bounds, which is still recommendable for beginners, I guess. But yeah, this method is not too bad. And now we're getting some DLC items here. You will also see that there's some stuff here in this room. So it's faster to pick up the salt infusions we need in this room. So we're gonna do that now. And also, there's Fleet Feet that I want. Oops, come on. Ah. And Sugar Rush. Money. And here we're getting our shield, which allows us to do some boosts later during the run. Wait, this? Was I just too late? Hello? Game, could you please not do this? Okay, we might have just gotten a soft lock. I don't know why, but okay. Okay, we're just gonna restart the checkpoint, I guess. That's never happened before. Oh wait, we need to, right, no, we don't need to pick this up. Oh, I forgot. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Forgot to pick this up. Feels bad, man. Okay, now we're going fast. And here's a little skip. What we can do is, if we're just fast enough, as with the Sugar Rush there, we can jump down here before the ship has arrived there. And what you see me doing here quite a few times is to loot stuff in hope for some food drops, which will make us go fast, as you can see here. Shooting here at the ground to open this door early. Hopefully, yeah, worked. Okay. Also, enemies can have loot sometimes. The loot route is kind of fixed. We try to not go out of our way too much, because that would cost too much time, because every Sugar Rush boost only saves like, I don't know, 2 seconds or something, or 1.5 seconds. So going out of your way too much is not worth it. But if you can kill some enemies or grab some stuff on your way, that's what you definitely want to do. And you can see it quite adds up in terms of little time saves. So this is the Order of the Crow. Oops, some more food stuff there to pick up. As I said, I really like this beginning. It's pretty chill. And on the rooftop segment that we're approaching, it actually looks like really cool. You get all the movement perfectly. Killing this crow with some fire traps, because that's faster than just shooting it. Running around these soldiers, and now we're getting to the hooks. You see me shaking my mouse here, because that prevents... well, that should prevent some camera locks there. And I need to do it with the right timing, but it's not too bad at all. And this is Monument Island Gateway. Coming up is a really cool skip that I hopefully will get. Didn't jinx it. Some more food, that is very good. Later, combined with the HRH boosts, this Sugar Rush gear is gonna become really OP, because the boost speeds don't only add up because, well, they kinda multiply even, you'll see that. Okay, so there's a soldier here that normally I wouldn't kill, but for safety reasons I'm gonna do that. Sometimes he can get in your way. Gotta focus a little bit. Perfect. That gives me a speed boost. I'll explain that in a second. And by getting here fast, we can just target that soldier on the ship, which allows us to get onto an invisible platform. I think the hitbox of the ship or something. It doesn't work if you're there late. Oh, I haven't practiced this. Not sure about this. This probably won't work, so whatever. There's kind of a manipulation you can do here with some fire traps. But yeah, what I wanted to say is, what we did there was cargo boost or tolling skip, and that worked. Actually, that worked. That should work fine. Okay. Try this real quick.
Not all debts can be repaid.
Oh, not sure. So the tolling skip works because if we just jump right onto the edge of the crate, the game kinda pushes you forward, tries to get you out of the crate, and the physics at high FPS go like really wonky there, so it kinda pushes up us with all the speed yeah, towards the next part of the rail, and that allows us to skip all that section. And here we can get out early, which works because we skipped a trigger by doing the tolling skip. Doesn't really save much time, but it's still pretty cool. Gonna jump in a couple of segments, because that's faster than just waiting for these rumblings. Well, I'm not sure if I had to kill these soldiers, but I do it for safety's sake. If you do it right, if you manipulate the spawns with the fire traps from the cutscene before, you can actually open the door early, which saves 3 or 4 seconds.
So I don't have to. Amen.
Amen.
See if we can get a beautiful softlock here, which I've had a couple of times. I've had it that the rail here didn't appear, or the skyline rather, and the game was kinda going all places there. Couldn't really do anything, the sound was acting up, stuff like that. And this brings us to Monument Island, which is my least favorite part of the run or game, because there's so many cutscenes here.
Oh, there it is. Monument Island. Where they got her locked up in this place.
But we have to sit through that, I guess. More drops that we're gonna pick up here. Like, all of these drops are not really out of our way. It's worth picking them up. Normally there would be an infusion beneath that table, but we are not grabbing that because we already grabbed the infusions in the blue ribbon earlier, which is a bit faster than taking them in other places. And yeah, this is cutscene heaven. Also, there's a thing that we have to do here, a vote between apple and no apple. So I would highly suggest you to vote no apple because that's the way to go. If you pick apple, then you're, well, I don't know, everything is lost, kinda. If Proto could activate the bot.
That's her.
Pick no apple. A very important decision that really, like, decides whether this run is going well or not. But yeah, this is mostly just cutscenes, moving to the next cutscene, and yeah, nothing really too special. Pulling these levers, but we're also seeing Liz here for the first time. Liz is our sidekick for the rest of the game. She's mostly okay, but sometimes she can get in your way and is kind of annoying by not throwing the drops you want, or the items or the health drops and stuff.
Whoa!
That is very true, Zhang.
Whatever that was.
Was one no apple? Or was one apple? So as soon as, I would say, the next cutscene here starts, we should cut it off. Or not the next cutscene, but the cutscene where we drop down into Liz's place.
Holy shit.
Not Bible.
I can do this.
The place with all the books. My English. Whatever. Anyway, here you can manipulate the camera a little bit by looking to the direction where you're supposed to look, because otherwise the game is still gonna pan into that direction. Doesn't really save much time, but it's just something you can do. One is apple. Oh, rip.
Will you stop it?
A lot of ones.
Who are
I vote
My name is
no apple myself.
I'm a friend. I come to get you out
Get
of here.
away!
Has ended in a tie. That is perfect, because if it's a tie, I decide, that's how I do it on my stream, and obviously I decide no apple.
Coming.
That was a bit late, Olgan, I'm very sorry.
Don't want to be here when
And you can see the beautiful, not beautiful apple there lying on the table.
There's no way out. Trust me, I've looked. Stop it! You're too impatient. That's enough.
What about
And
this?
What about it?
This is the way out, isn't it?
What are you?
obviously, since it was a tie and my vote is the final decision, this beautiful apple will not get eaten. RIP.
It's a way
But yeah,
out.
this is still all very slow and boring. There's a bit of manipulation we can do here. We can jump right as soon as rumbling starts to save some of the momentum.
We'll see about that.
If I can get a good pattern here. The rumblings are kind of on a pattern. It's pretty weird. I think I might have gotten a good pattern here. Yes, I think so. Like, you can save a couple of seconds if you get the good pattern. You can pretty consistently manipulate it if you jump in the right places. And you can get ahead of Liz there, which is quite fast. Also, sometimes I think if you touch Liz here while you're doing or having these rumblings, you can get into a state where you can't really move fast. And Liz likes to be a brick, apparently.
Watching me? All this time? Why? Why did they put me in here? What am I? What am I?
You're the girl who's getting out of this tower.
I didn't see all those other ones I assumed that it was oh, a solid bot. Shots fired. I'm sorry for all the apple lovers. I will eat some apples during the rest of the run to make up for it. Thank you, Down.
Which way?
Oh, I forgot to reload here. After the checkpoint you can reload, because normally you would have like a really low movement speed. But if you reload, the game resets your state. You can get ahead here. Didn't really save much time, but it's still something cool to do. I think Proto found it. And now we're getting into this, well, interactive cutscene, I'd say. You look around, you can't really jump onto other parts of the railing or the skyline. You can get onto the skyline, by the way, from out of bounds and actually interact with it, like jump further, but you can't trigger the end trigger or end part, which loads the next level, so it's pretty useless. Oh, that's some spoilers, last big boss. If you eat the apple. Oh, okay, I can clear that up. Nothing really happens, but it has become kind of a meme with my stream when when we didn't have the mod and I used to just grind attempts. I was saying like, okay, no apple means good luck for Hill Runner's Head, and if you just pick apple, then it's, well, the run is doomed and bound to be reset. But yeah, no apple is the way to go, still. Even if we're using the mod now.
Mr. DeWitt! Mr. DeWitt!
And this is another, like, well, flashback, intermission, whatnot. And this brings us to Battleship Bay. Battleship Bay is where we are going to get Hill Runner's Head. Also, you can see the animations here being glitched out a little bit. That is due to disabling, what was it, light shafts? Or, I don't know, some graphic setting in the config. And that kind of glitches out the game's, I don't know, animations.
Elizabeth.
We're doing that to get some more FPS later for a skip.
Where am I?
Back in the land of the living. Here, let me.
I'll be fine.
You almost drowned. You need to.
I said I'm fine. Just give me a minute.
There's a skip here. Well, I guess I can attempt it.
You hear that?
But,
Music.
okay, I'm gonna attempt it once. There's a skip you can do here with a super jump. Super jumps are like a very weird trick that Darko initially found. And they allow you to get some really high jumps by getting into a spot where you like can only crouch, basically. And then you just spam jump. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get up here. We gotta get up here, then there's a space that we can crouch into. Okay, I fall down. Oh. Whatever. This like has a about 1% chance of working anyway, so I would have needed to crouch there and then spam jump. It's really inconsistent. In some spots it's more consistent. We actually use some kind of super jumps in this run. At least those that are doable pretty consistently. Yeah, this skip, this would have saved me like, I don't know, I would say 40 seconds or something, because we wouldn't have to watch this cutscene here.
I don't dance. Come on, let's go.
Why? What could be better than this?
I think Jarko is actually somewhat
How about
semi-consistent with that skip, even though like it's still probably only like 10% chance.
Going, but if you want to stay and dance, we can.
Let's go.
But yeah, nobody has really gotten it in a run, I think. And there are some conveniently placed bottles here on the beach that we can use, or that we can drink to get some more boosts. And yeah, coming up is
Mr. DeWitt.
neither skip,
Comstock.
combined with Pete skip, which is also a new skip.
See the future.
Give a man
So let's see if that works out first try.
falls in all kinds of love with himself.
I don't like his look.
This, get out of my way.
Mr. DeWitt, here. Come look at these.
Bird.
Or the cage.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage.
He's to it. How do Never mind.
Okay, that worked first try, nice. This is a fairly new skip as well, which was found after the mod was allowed, I think. And this bypasses a segment with a lock. Pretty long. It's about, I would say, 20 seconds. Also, I'm restarting the checkpoint here and, or getting a checkpoint and restarting it to have Liz appear, because if she doesn't appear, we're gonna lose a lot of time. Okay, wait, I didn't want to check that actually.
It's probably a good idea.
That's fine. We're just gonna go here, and now the mod comes into play. I'm gonna press the key on my keyboard, and that will consistently spawn Hillrunner's head. Oh, amazing! Hillrunner's head first try.
What was it that...
Annabelle?
Excuse me?
Annabelle, it's me, Esther.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Maybe we can get this skip. I've gotten it in a marathon before, so
Elizabeth. Isn't that a lovely
yeah.
name?
It's another super jump there,
Odd.
Last customer.
but it's very inconsistent.
Park's closing. Park's closing, everyone.
Excuse me.
Hey, you wanna watch out? I just swapped that.
Oops. If I messed up the Pete skip there, by the way, which is named after one on NPC that we now skip,
Tickets for passage.
then that would have made me restart the whole Battleship Bay area, which would have caused a lot of time. So yeah, glad that worked out first try.
I got it. I'll ring you back once the matter's in hand.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
Stay where you are.
And here's a little fight, one of the few fights that we actually have to do in this run.
Away from me. Let me out. I want out.
And theoretically, you can skip this whole ticket area. Also, I should remember to pick up the shotgun. Because you can get up there and jump into into a small space, but it's really hard and finicky. And I think the only person who really got it was Jarko. I haven't really messed with it personally too much. Ah, come on. Also, that was the first Hillrunner's head boost. I forgot to shoot the soldiers. If you get a food item, then we could have gotten like an additional speed boost there. But we're gonna see that later. Oh, yeah, still plenty of opportunity for some cool speed.
Dead.
Heck.
You killed those people.
Elizabeth,
You're a monster.
what did you think was gonna happen?
You can see Liz having
Spence?
the boxes around her hands here now. Normally you're supposed to either pick the bird or the cage, but since we didn't do that, she just has those boxes around her hands. She doesn't really care.
Far away from here.
What do they want from me?
I don't know. One thing I've learned. If you don't draw first,
Yeah, Jarko is one of the people who really like drove this game. Its potential in terms of skips. He's a glitch and skip hunter for quite a few games, but his baby kinda is BioShock Infinite.
I don't know.
There.
Now that we have some weapons, we can actually fire some shots. And yeah, arriving at Soldier's Field, where we're gonna do a little skip here, if the game would allow me to move. If I walk to this gate here, then walk to this lock, wait for a list to have her dialogue there, then that skips and overwrites a dialogue from this gate, which allows me to lift this gate early. Saves about 4 seconds.
Shock jockey. Who needs the power company?
Some fool's alternative.
And, well, speaking of skips, there's another skip coming up here, which is fairly old now.
Heading for the dock.
Can go for a loot there.
Just stay close.
Yes, Mr. DeWitt.
Call me Booker. What?
So, there are some walls in the game which are kind of weird and sticky. And what you can do here is you can jump up these walls.
I imagine
And
they were
by
interested in me.
jumping up these walls, if it worked, okay, This is kind of marathons always a Monka Shake situation, because this is also FPS related, and sometimes it just doesn't work well.
With current events.
So yeah, glad that worked. And yeah, now we're just gonna go out of bounds here. I hope that worked. Okay, we're good. And that brings us into this segment here. We're skipping a bit of dialogue and cutscene there. And normally there's dialogue about bees and everything. And this is a pretty well coordinated fight, if everything goes well. Set up the fire trap there, shoot the soldiers. Another soldier here. And place a fire trap up here. Because that allows us to kill this dude, the crow, pretty much instantly. And activate the lever without really having to fight any additional enemies. Gotta pick up this item because it's faster to pick it up here than to buy it or anything. I'm gonna loot for some food. Because in Hall of Heroes we're gonna have a bunch of skips that are reliant on our health. And there's something called death warping in this game, or this run. By, well, damaging ourselves and then killing ourselves, we get into a state where we can actually pass through some walls. And also we might get some cool boosts here. Yeah, right. We can see now that the speed really multiplies. Okay, so I'm gonna... Oops, come on. Focus a little bit here. So we can propel ourselves while we're in the dying state through walls. Should have worked first try. There's a checkpoint that I'm trying to hit there behind the wall. This one is pretty precise and also fairly new. Yeah, that worked nice. Gonna buy some additional ammo here. Because we're having a couple more skips coming up here. And doing the same here. And if I see the Memorial to Our Lady title or subtitle there, I know I've made it. You can go too far, or like you can also like not make it, which is kind of bad, so I'm glad that worked. Also, I'm running over there to trigger the soldiers because that prevents a soft lock later when we're going back. And I'm gonna attempt here a new version of the skip. See how it goes. Which allows us to skip another like death animation here. That worked. No, I didn't make it. Okay. Where are we respawning? Okay, I think we can still back up here. I don't know if I have enough RPG ammo now though. Let's see. Okay, there's some food in here at least, which is good. So, let's do this. Okay, that's... Okay, well, backup strat's not working. I'll try it again. We already looted this, but we should be fine, considering that I got the right amount of health before. I hope. If not, we have to reload the checkpoint. If not, this might be a soft lock. Actually, might be a soft lock. Oh. Okay. Okay, whatever. Gotta do this again. Hope that made it. That might have gotten too short. Nope, actually we should be fine, yeah. We have to run over here again, do this again. That's okay.
All yours.
Gonna play it safe now. Or maybe the game just doesn't like me today. Okay, alright. I don't know, this I forgot to mention that this game's health system is really weird. Sometimes it doesn't seem like, or it seems like you have a low enough health, but you actually don't. There's kind of several different states you can be in terms of whether you can damage yourself or not. Don't blame this on Apple guy, no Apple guys. Should be better. Yeah, okay, now we got it. Okay, that shouldn't have taken that long, but that's fine. So this is another death warp. I warped there behind the door, where there's also kind of a respawn point, and now we just have to spawn Slate to actually grab the item that we came here for, which is Shock Jockey. Without Shock Jockey, we can't progress further into the game. I'm running here behind this box to trigger Slate, who will appear here now. And since it's faster, we're just gonna spare him.
You're not done here, soldier. Eat everything that's on your
First
plate.
try, literally.
Finish it. You're a tin man now.
A Tin Man. So it's important to not forget to actually pick up Shock Jockey here. I've done it before that I went to the exit of Hall of Heroes and then I noticed, oh dang, I did not pick up Shock Jockey. Couldn't even leave. But yeah, sometimes it happens that you can skip these introduction videos here as you just saw there. Not sure if it's frame perfect or something, but sometimes it just happens. Also, health management and ammo management is pretty crucial in this game. I'm trying to conserve my ammo and health in such a way that I can also get these double boosts here. As you can see, we're going really fast here sometimes. And here's Shock Jockey, like where we have to use it. And that's Hall of Heroes finally. Right now I just have to be a bit careful with my health. Should be fine though.
There he is. Do it now.
Gotta kill this dude, and we're on a timer here now, so we have to wait a little bit. Then we can jump down. Oops. And here we actually grab Bucking Bronco. Normally we would have gotten it in Hall of Heroes, but since we are skipping that part now with a new Death Warp, we can just grab it here. Sometimes elevator doors are a bit weird. Sometimes they open instantly, sometimes they don't. I think it kinda depends on how you like approach them. But yeah. So we got Shock Jockey to actually activate this thing to pull the lever. Otherwise, this the fight here won't start. So theoretically, I think there's a Shock Jockey lying around in some of these shops, but I think you can't really pick it up before going to Hall of Heroes or something. I think Jarko has messed around with that quite a bit. But yeah, we have some dialogue to go through. Everything here is timed now, at least for some parts of this fight. We can loot some stuff. And we can also try to shoot some enemies here early. That was too low. Doesn't really save much time if you can do it, but pretty neat. So we gotta kill these enemies here on the barge. These guys are a bit annoying, because sometimes they can be out of position. And this barge sometimes takes very long to get over here, not sure why that's the case. Okay, some more rocket dudes. The other one. Did he kill himself? Oh, there he is. And as you can hear, the fight is over now. Sometimes that takes a little bit if the enemies are still like off screen and didn't fully die yet. But yeah, now I'm manipulating the enemies here to come to exactly the spot by standing here. If you just stand somewhere else, they might go all over the place. So this is very convenient now because we just need to lure them over and kill them. It's 2 sets of 4 enemies, I think, that we can all easily pick up here. Oh, they don't spawn, yeah, okay. This is fairly simple, nothing really special about this, just aiming towards the soldiers. And everything here is on the timer because we need to wait for the gondola to arrive from, well, you can't see it right now, from up there, from the next part of the game. Anyway, so we kind of have a bit of time here. The soldiers will, if you just stand here, always arrive in the same fashion. So that should be 2 more? No, actually 3 more. I think it's 2 sets of 5 soldiers. Yeah. Pile them up here. And what I'm doing now is get up on this barge. Then kill a Patriot here. Didn't die yet. I'm gonna play it safe here and wait a little bit. There's something you can do here now. And jump. Why did that not work? I was on there. Whatever, I'm just gonna do it from here. I just hope my health is fine now. And my ammo count. And I hope Liz will spawn. Okay, so by looking into a different direction than, or into the opposite direction of where we want her to spawn, she will basically just spawn in our back, and that we can manipulate her to spawn on this gondola instead of having the gondola arrive there first. So this saves quite a bit of time, actually, like probably, I don't know, 20 seconds, 15 seconds or something. Okay, let's see, health might be fine, but might not be fine, we'll see. Nope, it's actually not fine, but, well, whatever.
How do you think I ended up here? I gambled, and now I owe money to men you don't want to be in debt to.
Normally you can do a death warp here. After you hit a certain checkpoint, you can kill yourself and basically respawn on the platform above.
In exchange for you.
So now we just gotta wait until it arrives there. Also, what you want to be careful of if you set up death warps is to not actually pick up every loot immediately, because, or only in situations where you know that it won't hurt you, because if you do it, then there's a chance that there's gonna be a health kit in the loot, and if that happens, guys, then it completely might ruin your death warp setup. So yeah. I'm gonna save this rocket shot for later, for certain skip.
Let's not call each other that.
Kind of slow because we messed up the death warp, or because we didn't have enough ammo. Yeah, there's worth things, I guess. Also, gonna pick this up.
You all right?
I want to see Paris. I want to see everything.
It's up to you now. There's no one.
Wait, what is that? 40 north by
And now we have to watch quite a long cutscene. I think it might be the second longest cutscene of the game.
In that tower was time, quick.
Mm.
Time
So
to
you
send
usually
the
can
next
grab a
shot.
coffee
I
or
owed money.
go to the bathroom or something here.
Fellow, he offered to wipe away my debt in exchange
Because we have
for
to
you.
talk to Elizabeth,
Everything's gonna be okay.
which is something I
Just
once
turn
forgot
around and
to
talk
do
to me, and we
in a
can
really
talk.
good or really well-paced run. And then I came back and I was like, oh dang, okay, I just ruined this run by not triggering Elizabeth there. Well, that happens, I guess. So, something about the story, in case you haven't played this game. We obviously rescued Elizabeth from out of Songbird's control, or Comstock's control. Now she's with us, even though she first didn't want to go with us because we promised her to go to, I think, Paris, but, or was it New York? I don't know the lore anymore. But we're not actually going there because we need Liz to, like, give her back to the Lutece twins, kinda, to get rid of our debt. And we will see all the conclusion to that later in the epilogue. And also what you see here is slavery and, well, the whole... It kind of gives a good outlook on one of the more crucial parts of the story. It's about... like, it's a dystopian view of the world. It's about suppression, revolution, stuff like that. The story has quite some depth to it. Some might call it nonsense after watching the epilogue, but I think it's a pretty cool story.
Cause it sure look like old Comstock's airship to
Listen,
me.
I ain't looking for a fight.
There's already a fight to win. Only question is, which side you on? Comstock is the god of the white man, the rich man, the pitiless man. But if you believe in common folk, then join the Fox. If you believe in the righteous folk, then join the Fox.
He just wants his ship.
The Fox shall give her to you. But first, you must help the Fox.
So now Daisy's gonna do a really nice thing. She's gonna throw us out of our own airship.
Get our guns from him.
And we have to fight our way through the docks. Our goal is actually to like get back Liz and to get to Finkton proper. And do some shortcuts here, little shortcuts. And there's another shortcut here. I'm not sure if that's intended or an oversight from the devs, but you can just jump over these pipes. I don't have any RPG shots left now, actually, to go fast here, but that's fine. Yeah, come on, give me a boost. Now there's a skip here. Hopefully I can get this. Should still be fine. If you make it right, you can jump around the corner with the HRH boost, and what that does is it skips like a 9-second cutscene, I think. And it also skips Liz running here in front of you, at least up to a certain point, and also skips like some chase animations and stuff like that. But yeah, now we have to sit through this.
Just hold up for a minute. I'm not angry with you.
Theoretically, there's something you can do here that, I don't know, might be half a second faster or something, but I'm not sure. It might cause a soft lock.
Go in there.
I'm not doing it.
No, no, no.
Okay, let's see. Can get some hot dogs, some more speed boosts.
There's gotta be another way in.
Let me go!
And here's a fight. This fight isn't too bad if you just know what you need to do. Gotta kill some soldiers. And then there's a barge arriving, which you wanna clear pretty quickly, otherwise it's gonna get messy. Oops, that did not work. I think now this dude might... okay. Just gonna let him jump over. Come on. Well, I think we have to jump onto this barge really quick. Okay. Because if you don't jump on there, then the game won't progress. So, okay, where's that last dude? I think he's up here. he is who we want to pay attention to, because he has the gun that makes some of the remaining fights like really fast. It also allows us to damage ourselves more fluidly and dynamically. But yeah, so that didn't go too well, but it's all good. Sometimes it can happen that the volley gun there drops from the barge if you don't pay close enough attention while killing the volley gun dude, and that's really kind of a bad situation you don't want to be in, because the next point where we can pick up the volley gun is in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, and there's a fight or 2 fights left in between that take quite a bit longer if you don't have the volley gun, so you really want to pay attention to not mess that up.
Hey, I'm slipping!
Do not attempt to follow me, Mr. DeWitt.
Elizabeth, I've made an arrangement to get our airship back.
You can get us out of here.
Yes, I just need to supply enough weapons to arm an entire uprising.
And where will we get these weapons?
So after this pretty lengthy cutscene again, we're coming to Finken proper. First there's gonna be a really awkward freeze here of the camera, you can't really move.
Mr. DeWitt.
Sometimes it does not happen, but we don't really know what causes it. It's just a bit annoying and lose a bit of time if you get the freeze here. As you can see, I can't move, can't do anything for like a second. Boost some, and now we're buying an upgrade. Upgrade gives us some more damage. Also, I'm stocking up on salts here and on ammo. And yeah, now we're in Finken proper, where we're preparing another death warp very soon.
Daisy Fitzroy.
First I killed those soldiers, and now I'm placing 2 fire traps here, which will get rid of some soldiers that will arrive here later. In the meantime, Liz opens that lock, and we can go down here, kill this Patriot. There's the last one, there he is. Okay, and by setting up the fire traps, we can actually finish this fight really quickly. Oh, we have to wait for Liz to arrive here and start her dialogue before we can kill ourselves. And yeah, that will... It looks as if it wouldn't save time, but in the end it does, because normally we would have to wait for the elevator to arrive. But I'm setting up another death warp right now. And yeah, this is a pretty important death warp to get. Or to actually not fall down there. This skips a very large chunk of the game. I think it might be like 1 hour or something, or 1.5 hours if you play casually. You really want to pay attention to get that. And coming up is another small death warp. I'm gonna play it a bit safe here, kill these turrets. Did I? Oh god, okay. Oh god, I didn't kill any of them. Okay, so we can just jump through the gate here, which will just put us to the other side without having to jump over it or unlock the gate. If you're lucky, you can get some cool boosts here in this segment. The drops. Alright.
We need to take that elevator up. Bet it leads to Fink's office.
So another elevator ride. As I said before, there's a lot of elevator rides in this run. But yeah, we already cut out a few of them, so it's not too bad. But still, this game is pretty cutscene heavy. So if you don't like cutscenes, if you just want non-stop action, this might not be the right speedrun for you, but I can assure you it's like a very fun run. If you just get all the tricks down.
They're just right for each other, aren't they?
Who?
Fitzroy and Comstock. Mr. Lin? My God, I was so set on getting to Paris. I didn't really think that
You couldn't have known this would happen.
I had a role in this catastrophe. If you want to pretend that we're purely innocents in this,
Phone
that's
rings.
your prerogative, but
Especially now that we have this mod, beginners can get consistent runs going, or can get runs going consistently, which is like really nice because you don't really have to reset very often. So this game is also very beginner friendly to pick up. There are backup strats for a lot of things. The skips themselves aren't too bad. Some of the Neo ones are a bit hard, but it's like really, it's very doable. So if you want to pick up this run, feel free to join our Discord. Yeah, okay, we actually got like an interesting thing here. Sometimes the enemies spawn in the corner, or actually don't really get teleported to their actual position. So that's cool that that happens. I'm gonna pay attention here to not soft lock, because sometimes if you go too fast here, the game will soft lock you. You don't want. And for this fight, we're gonna set up some fire traps first on this platform. And then there's a barge coming over here, which we can jump. Right angle. Get rid of all the enemies here. And I'm preparing some more fire traps here now for a crow, which not a crow, a handyman, which is going to spawn. And I'm using the crow vigor here to actually stun him, so we can do some better damage. He died. Sometimes, like, oh wait, he didn't die yet. I'll pay a bit of attention to that.
kill that child. Booker, we have to do something. We have to act. We have to get in there. Come on, Booker, we've got to get out of here. Boost me up. Go to the window and distract Daisy.
Audio is off? Shouldn't be, at least not from my side. Okay, here I don't want to pick up the gear, because that could override Hillrunner's head or some other gear. I'm kind of need to be careful to not loot that. Oh, I forgot to distract her. That's just the same as with the cutscene before, with the airship. Audio is off. Shouldn't be on my side.
Cut them down and they just grow back. If you want to get rid of the weed, you gotta pull it up from the root.
I can reconnect though if it continues. Oh, not on my side.
Elizabeth.
I guess it runs in the family.
Elizabeth. Whoa, whoa, hey, easy.
Anyway, some more cutscenes. We have to now get onto this airship again. And Liz is running away again. She's like, she can't make up her mind.
Elizabeth.
Some more waiting time here. Not really much you can do.
This is all.
An interesting thing, if you have full health, this medkit will not be
How
here.
do you do it?
Not appear.
Do what?
Forget. How do you wash away the things that you've done?
You don't. Just learn to live with it.
So the moment of truth between us. New York or Paris?
Oh, who's that? It's that song. I've heard it before.
Shit. Come on, we gotta find a way to make this thing go faster.
Yeah. Songbird again. He will appear a couple more times throughout the run. With some actual twists to the story. And that's the factory done.
That's not it.
Certainly is. Is.
Try again.
All right.
Hold on.
Here you are.
Well, here in this segment we have to wait for the Lutece twins to finish their dialogue. Normally, or, well, not normally, but theoretically you could skip this by just going over that structure and so on. It's like a really tight series of jumps though, and it doesn't even really save time in the end because you have to kill yourself, otherwise you can't progress later. But it's still a very cool skip. So maybe it's gonna get used at some point with some more refinement.
We are where we are needed.
And needed where we are.
So Comstock uses these songs. Are there others we can use? Something to keep the bird off our back?
Seems good again? Okay. It's
So
awesome.
where is he?
Alright, we're nearing, well, not endgame yet, but we're getting quite far into the game. We have quite some interesting skips coming up still.
Wherever the bus are,
And one of them being here. Normally there's a fight, but the trigger luckily just doesn't extend all the way, so we can just go here. Oh, get some cool jumps there. And here, if you pick the lock and then go back to this spot,
that song that brings in
then the lock will be unpicked as soon as possible. Otherwise, you would have to, or we would have to wait for Elizabeth to finish her speech.
Got me books.
friend.
Now we have to wait again for gondola or barge or however you want to call it to arrive. Let's set up a fire trap here and loot some stuff.
Just like this prophecy business.
Because you really want to have some ammo for the next part.
The future. Do
We
you?
actually got really good ammo there.
Something
It's nice.
when I first got here. It was New York, but larger than any New York I ever saw.
Oops, come on.
It was burned.
Stuck there.
Seems right up your
So sometimes it can happen, it didn't happen here, but sometimes it can happen that Elizabeth will not be able to pick a lock, or you won't be able to request that from her. But if you jump, like, it can happen because of you
Just realized who
having
you are.
like a food drop or something.
Well, at least she.
But if you jump, then you can still trigger it. Also, the quest marker was wrong there.
giant balloons.
Quantum particles, suspended in space-time at a fixed height.
So, not giant balloons?
But the thing is, my book said they disappeared several years ago.
I told you they'd come.
No, you didn't.
So for all those who voted Apple, here's your apple.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
Something tells me they're not exactly what they appear.
I was going to have told you they'd come.
No,
The subjunctive?
that's not the subjunctive.
I don't think the syntax has been invented yet.
It would have had to have been.
Had to have had been. That can't be right.
They seem to want to help.
They seem to be out of their minds.
Odd, isn't it?
What's odd?
The fact that we sometimes...
Finish each other's sentences?
Exactly.
It would be odder if we didn't.
The test twins are actually like a really cool
Back to you after I
set of
figure out
characters.
this city bit.
Really make you think during your playthrough. Anyway, during the next segment we are going to try to set up another death warp. Not kill ourselves early, also we're gonna buy some stuff.
Comstock House is up ahead.
And hopefully not pick up any health kits. Oh god. The speed. Gonna buy a charge undertow and Devil's Kiss boost. Oh god. Okay. And here we have to kind of pay attention to, like, we can now unlock the gate, but we have to pay attention to hide ourselves, otherwise we could get into a semi-soft lock state, because the game would be a bit confused. Just charge to these soldiers, kill them quickly, otherwise we are not able to trigger the turnstile here.
Won't be able to return.
Can you open this?
It's a simple dual dial lock. My book said most fools keep the combination no more than 20 feet away.
Let's hope we find one of those fools. This might be it.
This might be the book we were looking for. So, what I didn't mention before, there are some really weird dialogue skips happening in BioShock Infinite. Sometimes dialogue and cutscenes just randomly or seemingly randomly skip forward. And we have not figured out why that happens. It seems to happen more consistently if you try to spam the use input. I have not bound it to my mouse wheel now, but if you do that, it seems to be more consistent, but it's still like fairly random. And it can give you or skip you forward by quite a bit. So one time in practice, I completely skipped this dialogue, this cutscene. So the cutscene started and it was finished immediately. And Liz just went into her state where she can go to the button, the elevator. We have no idea what causes that. It rarely happens, but it's kind of annoying and nice at the same time.
Elizabeth.
Maybe we will figure that out in the future still.
I will stop him.
That is an oath you
Can you imagine, like, in a run like this, even though it's not fully optimized yet, so 30-40 second time save is just like a lot. You get that. You can almost get an unbeatable record at some point. So, not sure what we would do if that would happen in a run, because you can't really reproduce it. Okay, that brings us to downtown Emporia, which has a bunch of more skips.
Watch where you're pointing. Look.
Alright, so normally there's a big fight going on in this place, but thanks to an oversight in the geometry from the level designers, we can do something interesting. First we gotta get up here. Set this up. So we can just jump over here, jump around the corner. And with some aim toggle there, or zoom toggle, we can jump over this gate. It's not really a hard trick. Very cool one though. Hey, we're getting some cool boosts. Nice. It's pretty speedy. And normally this area is full of little fights and a lot of gameplay and everything, story. Where am I? A bit confused there. But we don't like story, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna set up another death warp. Well, I could... Did I show? Okay, I think we can do wall clip strats, right? The skip that is not actually... where it was. Not sure if it works with these FPS though. I think it doesn't work, so... Or at least not in the way that I know how it works. We're just gonna set up this death warp regularly. Oh god, Liz is here. This might not work. So this is Comstock Gate skip. There's a couple of different skips you can do here. Some just don't really work yet very well because we don't have enough FPS. Maybe in the future, if we get better PCs, we can do those. If that worked. Nope. Okay, I have to reset this because Liz was near the gate, I think. But we can just run around this corner, set this death wall up again. Hopefully this will be fine. But what I'm basically doing here is I'm setting up first a respawn point behind this gate. And then we're falling off somewhere. And by doing that, the game places us to the nearest respawn point, which is behind the gate. Oh god. I hope this still worked. You don't want to touch the ground there. Okay. Well, I think... because I touched the... Nah. Not because I touched the ground, but I messed up there, so... Okay. We will get this, don't worry. I gotta do this again. And in this corner, it's a bit precise, but not... it's not too bad. What the game actually does is it determines the spot or the distance between like where you fall off and where the closest respawn point is. Should have worked. Yeah. Okay. Lost a bit of time there. Trying another skip here now. That worked first try, nice. It's somewhat new skip. We abused the geometry there, get some speed, and actually then just skip a trigger, or hit a trigger which is somewhere on the bridge. It skips a long dialogue with Songbird, a long cutscene with Songbird, which normally would take like, I don't know, over a minute. Come on. I'm gonna kill myself here. To get some health and some ammo back. And we can do something nice here. We can just stand in a certain spot and aim up here and charge, which allows us to bypass 2 floors. That's really nice. If you do it well, you can get through the segment really speedy with well-timed hill runner's head boosts.
There's the switch.
And here's the only real jump scare in the game. Oops, I spoiled it.
Should be able to head downstairs and get to Elizabeth now.
Hope you still got spooked. Oh god, jump down there, please. Oh, get into the elevator game, please. So I'm gonna try to kill myself here on the elevator, because then I will be able to respawn at the bottom. And the elevator is still riding down, and we can just position ourselves here at this spot, which is a little bit faster than walking over to here, but we still need to wait here until the Lutece twins appear, otherwise the game would soft lock.
It's a tear. What is it?
Why do you ask what?
When the delicious question is when.
Lives, lived, will live.
Dies, died, will die. As you can see, Booker.
And here's Liz. Hopefully the other Liz will come around. She might not. Then we might, well, lose quite a bit of time. There's something that can happen here. If she doesn't spawn, like, normally she's supposed to be gone until here. But if we do the skip that we did on the bridge, then she will usually be with us. But if she is not with us, then there is a chance that a semi-soft lock will appear, which will fix itself but cost like 50 seconds or something.
Take my hand.
So we will see in a bit whether we get that glitch to happen, or that problem. First we got another apocalyptic cutscene here.
The prophet shall sit the throne and drown in flame the mountains of man. Say what you will about Comstock. He was a hell of a fortune teller. It wasn't the torture that broke me.
I'll try to get on top of Liz.
Indoctrination. It was time. Time rots everything, Booker. Even hope.
I was coming.
Songbird. He always stops you.
Yes, but I would find a way.
No. It's too late for me. I brought you here for your sake. Yours and hers. Here.
What is this?
So when we open the second next door, if Liz doesn't appear, then or clip through the door, then we know that we will get the semi-soft lock. It would be unfortunate, but well, it happens in real runs as well. Let's see, maybe we got lucky.
Before she...
Nope, doesn't look like it. I think we got unlucky there. So we can charge up here, bucking Bronco these dudes. Oh, that didn't work. Now we have to trigger 2 levers. These levers are a bit weird. Sometimes one lever can act up a bit.
I gotta get in there. Maybe if I shut down those machines,
But it's really not too bad. Gotta pay attention to not die here. Which can happen until you pull the second lever, because if you pull the second lever, then the game gives you invulnerability. And also there are these rumblings again, which I try to jump over, just keep some of my momentum. What's that dude doing over there? Just want to pay attention to not jump for the last rumbling here, because then the game can just clip you through the floor sometimes if you do it on the wrong frame.
I got you, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. You ready?
Just do it.
Here.
This game, by the way, BioShock Infinite, is famous for its softlocks. When I used to run this actively, I basically encountered a new softlock every day. I know how to avoid most of them by now, but there are still some mysteries remaining with this run, so for this game.
Happens. It's me. I'm the one who...
She's given us a way to get past Songbird. We're gonna find an airship and we'll leave Paris, Elizabeth. Remember, you wanted to go
We're not leaving. We are going to find Comstock.
Why?
You saw what he turns me into. I will not allow that.
And so what, you're going to kill him?
This is where you start moralizing, Booker. You forget. I know you.
I'm not going to let you kill him.
So this cutscene is really long. Killed myself, but that might actually be good. That wasn't intentional. Thought I had another boost there. Let's see. No, actually, okay, we have to wait now. It takes about, I don't know, I think 50 seconds for Liz to appear. Not even sure why this exactly happens, but it's just because the game just doesn't like skipping the cutscene on the ridge.
Not a damn thing. I guess I'm gonna do it for you.
Like you can see, it doesn't do anything because Liz is not around yet. She will appear. Gotta have faith.
Got a lock here.
Oh, thanks Liz for taking that long.
All yours. This doesn't make any sense.
Alright, now we're coming to endgame. Basically what we have to do now is we have to get to the Prophet's airship and do the final fight and epilogue. So some cool things coming up, so stay tuned for that. So here's a dialogue skip that I am not really set up for, but will save time.
Find a way on board.
Stay here. I'll handle this.
We're doing this together, or I'm doing it
Might not
alone.
anymore.
Either way,
Normally, like you want to be set up here for this death warp. It skips the dialogue with Comstock.
How thrilling to launch. How breathtaking the apex.
What's that sound?
And how terrifying. as gravity drags you down.
And here's a Patriot that we need to get rid of. Actually 2 Patriots in this area. More enemies. There's also something weird here. If you kill the enemies too quickly, they will appear from that side. Which is kind of not what you want. Because then you need to lure them over here to progress. Otherwise the ship wouldn't appear. Or, well, you have to wait until you kill the last one. Don't kill the last soldier now. Even though we might actually be fine already. Ship appear? Yep, look at. Oh, this is the barge that we need to be on. And there's some soldiers on here, which we will just kill with rocket shot. And then we can descend the ship. No, there are no non-potato graphics categories. Feel free to run this game though. With high graphics settings, you just might not be able to do some skips. So I once had it that dialogue here with Liz was skipped partially as well, so the game just can randomly decide to skip dialogue at some points. Wish we knew what caused that, but yeah.
That we've done.
Redeem? I don't see much use in that.
Booker, are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
So this is the Hand of the Prophet fight. There were a couple of barges that are gonna appear, but usually with the rocket launch you can get rid of them pretty easily, especially for the first one here. Just gotta board the ship and fire a rocket in the middle, and that's it. And also, what I forgot to mention, Liz throwing you stuff is RNG. Oh, I forgot about these. Kill these dudes. Stun them to save some ammo. Also, bucking Bronco is very useful for these waves of enemies. Allows you to just place rockets, blow them. So it's RNG with the drops or the things that Liz throws you. Unfortunately, sometimes she just refuses to throw you what you need. So you kind of have to improvise and adjust your strats a little bit. So ammo management is, as I said earlier, pretty crucial in this run. Usually it's not too bad though if you just don't like fire too many shots. Like you just have some spare shots. Alright. Into this barge. Another shot like that. Where's the last one? He went there. Are you hiding? Or another one?
I've got ammo.
I think we're fine, right? Normally there's some indicator that you killed all the enemies on the barge, but it didn't appear here. And this is the last barge that we need to clear.
Catch, Booker.
Great.
Okay, that's the Hand of the Prophet. The barge fight. Now we're getting to the Hand of the Prophet, where there's a fairly new skip, deck skip. We theorized about the skip being possible here to skip the first 2 decks for a long time, and it took like a really long while to actually find it. I think Jarko found it in the end, so hopefully this will work out. First I'm gonna kill some enemies and turrets because they cost performance. We really want to have as many FPS as possible here. I need to pay attention though to not kill all of the soldiers. So 1 remaining and 1 turret. Gonna kill this. I think we should be good. Okay, now I'm using this ability to pull the enemy over here with me. Get up here. And put him up there, and then we can charge towards that. Now we can climb this wall. Hopefully this will work. Might take a while. Like FPS related, you need at least 350 FPS for it. FPS can take a while to stabilize in this area. Come on. Doesn't look too good. Might have to resort to old strats if this doesn't work out. Would be very unfortunate. Come on. Ah, that was almost it. Come on. I really want to get this now, because it also saves 2 minutes. Come on, game. You like this? We made it. Let's not fall down. Now we can trigger this from here. Okay, that worked. That took a long time. Which is also a reason why when I did runs, I didn't really, or I only streamed them with graphics card encoder instead of X264.
Let me take care of this on my own.
But yeah, glad that worked at least now. Gonna pick up some ammo here, and then we just have to progress to the Prophet's cabin. There's another skip coming up. We're gonna prepare it here.
Clean, false ship. But time will walk backwards before you find redemption. Some sins can't be forgiven.
And I'm jumping up here to the sniper's nest. Jumping down here, need to pay attention to not die. Okay, and then we can get inside here. This might seem weird. I will explain it in a second. Go to the door. And kill myself while I open the door from the inside. And what that does is it gets Booker into a state of a partial no-clip mode. You can clip through some entities now, including Liz. Normally she's solid here. And this allows us to skip a dialogue later, which in the end saves time, despite going around and then getting into the ship and everything. So this might not seem like it would save time at first, but actually saves like, I don't know, at least 30 seconds.
Maybe that's why I can't. When I was little, I used
And if you mess this up, you have to restart the whole segment, which is pretty annoying.
Where I wanted to go. In the tower.
Also, I once had it that this room soft locked. The door is supposed to open. It actually opened once for me, but then I got stuck in this room because the door closed before I could go through. This BioShock Infinite is just a weird game.
I need to do this.
Anyway, now Elizabeth is meeting Comstock, aka Booker. Wait, did I spoil something again? I hope not.
What am I?
Well, I mean, if you watched this run and haven't played the game, you're seeing a lot of the story, not all of it, but you won't really understand much, I guess, anyway. So
I've done to keep you safe.
Safe from what?
So this door, for example, is we can just clip through, and there's another one, which we will go through in a bit. But first, we can watch this cutscene and dialogue.
Beware the false shepherd, Booker DeWitt, for he shall be as a wall between her and destiny.
Why?
DeWitt, I'm a fool. I've set mighty armies to stop you.
OMG, the
I've
spoilers.
rained fire on you from above. I did all of that to keep you from her, when all I needed was to tell her the truth. Ask him, child.
So yeah, he also already has the wound that we will cause right now, because we entered the airship from out of bounds, and the game is like, okay, so he already got damaged. But yeah, right after this we can pass through this door and through the next one without having to wait for Liz to finish her dialogue and without having her lock pick the actual door. So we can get to the final fight immediately.
You killed him. What did he mean? Huh? You tell me, what did he mean about my finger?
I don't know. Yeah, I just assumed you were born with it. I don't know.
And yeah. Fun fact about this cutscene, or what normally happens here, there's a nose bleeding animation, and if you go through this door and trigger this while the nose bleeding is active, I think, then the game can crash. You want to avoid yet another hard lock in that case. Also, well, spoilers again, we're gonna meet our friend Songbird in a second. It's a song. Hey, Songbird. Oh, wait. What's going on? Suddenly a friend.
Shh, it's okay. I'm here. Will you help me? I need you to protect me. Will you do it? Will you do this for me?
I can already promise you that we're going a bit overestimate. But not by too much, I guess. A couple of minutes, I guess.
Go. Go, go.
Anyway, this is the final fight. It's pretty well coordinated. Hopefully everything goes well. No fire trap on this ship. That actually hit, okay. You know there's gonna be some barges spawning. We're gonna put Songbird onto one of them. Now using another fire trap for this one. Get rid of the enemies. Grabbing some health. And there's gonna be a ship flying here. Oops. Which we wanna kill. Now we jump down. Grab some salts, because there's gonna be two barges arriving with rocket launcher dudes. That should be Bucking Bronco.
There's more of them.
Okay, the other one doesn't want to fall down, I guess. And this will start the dialogue now. Who shot me? Okay, this dude. Alright, and now we can, like, there's two overlapping dialogues right now, and we can loot some stuff in the meantime. Some health. Salts. And hope for some ammo. Actually, Liz wants to throw us ammo. Nice, if only the prompt appeared. Sometimes this game is weird. Have I already said that? Gonna put some traps down for soldiers that will arrive.
We need this thing to make it to Monument Island.
At least she threw me the right ammo there. More soldiers coming down here in a second. And now I have to wait a little bit before I actually kill this Patriot, because otherwise that would spawn another wave of soldiers. First the Zeppelins need to disappear. And now we can actually go up here, because there's the Zeppelin, or a Zeppelin reappearing. And what a lot of people don't know is that you can actually destroy these Zeppelins or sabotage them from the inside by going onto here. So just keep doing that, because this is faster than waiting for Songbird. So I charged there onto one of the enemies. What can happen if, like, one of the Patriots was stuck in the ground there? What can happen is that he also gets stuck in the ground, then you have to charge to an enemy from out of bounds to get unstuck. Still works. And as you can see, now Songbird right now finishes the cooldown again, so we can trigger him. It's, as I said, a pretty well-coordinated fight. And now we didn't get the Patriots to spawn, which is bad. I'm just gonna kill all the enemies right away. This is a soft lock, but it will spawn additional waves of enemies. Unfortunate. Normally there's 2 Patriots supposed to spawn here, and sometimes the game just doesn't, for whatever reason. I just hope it will allow me to progress now. Come on, guys. Sure, if I missed an enemy here, I might need to wait a bit. Oh, there's one. Wait, is there one here? No. I'm gonna wait until they approach the reactor that they want to destroy. But yeah, we're getting like really bad marathon luck here again.
He's ready. Take this for the bleeding.
Guys, please.
Perfect timing.
Do this one.
Bring down that gunship.
Oh, we have destroyed all Vox Zeppelin's game. Oh, now the rocket dudes jump down. Oh, that... Or did they? What's going on? I have no clue what's going on right now because... Come on, game. Where are the rocket dudes? Are they out of bounds? Or am I just blind? He was hiding all the time. Seriously? Oh my god. Oh, this fight is supposed to end much earlier. Probably. Hey, thanks game for letting me finish the fight.
Well, that didn't work out so bad.
Oh well. So, Liz running here sometimes takes longer. You kind of have to wait for the statue to arrive up here. We don't really know what causes it. We think that the barges with turrets on there have some effect. So if you kill the turrets, it kind of makes it more consistent, but we're not sure yet.
Destroy the siphon.
And that's what you want.
It's the only way we'll
Did I not see that enemy? Whatever.
Comstock, everything.
Tear it down. Tear it all down.
Alright, so now the epilogue begins. And the epilogue is about 11 minutes long. Not really too much happening, even though we figured out 2 skips somewhat recently, which are pretty cool, save some time. So yeah, at least there's something to do. Also, a lot of story for all those lore freaks out there. No, this is not the fault of picking no apple. I refuse to believe that.
Where is he?
Wait, where are we? I don't have an idea. Wait, are we underwater? Also, Rip Songbird.
It's alright. I'm here.
Oh, not yet Rip, but very soon.
Elizabeth.
And
I'm
oh,
sorry.
wait, we're in that game. Suddenly BioShock 1. So the epilogue plays in Rapture a little bit, and then we get to the sea again.
This way.
The lighthouses. It's a pretty cool epilogue if you play it for the first
Where are you
time.
going?
Oh, come on. Yes, it's this way.
What Comstock said about your finger.
Wow, KPC.
Is there an answer here? Do you?
Down here.
Alright. Move some
This is where we have to go.
here and get over to the
What is
lever.
going on? Elizabeth, what do
And
you
very
mean that this is
soon,
a doorway? Probably gonna
another
regret this.
cutscene. Not another cutscene is gonna start. Very soon, another skip is gonna happen, as I said. After this Bethy sphere, right? Nope, this run is not cheated because it has been allowed by the community for the leaderboards. At least everyone has the same rules, or the same rules apply for everyone, so it's not cheating in that regard. But yeah, I really enjoyed the outro here of the game when I first played BioShock Infinite. Despite it being very confusing, I have to admit that.
My God, they're beautiful.
The stars?
So, normally, well, after the next dialogue, we're supposed to open some lighthouse doors, but we can do some things to make it go fast, first of all, but we have to wait for Liz to finish her speech. Then we can go through this door, respawn basically here, or on the other side, and there's some invisible walls blocking our way, but we can do something that, I forgot the name, how we called it. I think we haven't really fully named it, but it has to do with walking into walls, because at higher FPS the game glitches out in such a way that you can walk into some walls. You will see that in a second. And if you jump with the right timing, then you can do some interesting things.
All that's left is the choosing.
Come on. Basically, I'm holding forward and left right now. And would you let me get up? Okay, so this pushes us upwards, and we can walk on the invisible wall here, or down again. And this basically allows us to open the next door immediately before Liz finishes her dialogue and before actually you're supposed to go here. So that's one of the near pretty cool skips.
Look.
It's us.
Not exactly.
If you pay close attention, you can see Liz floating up there. I think it even happens with high graphic settings, and yeah, animations are just a bit glitched out here. Also, you see me sometimes walking backwards, because walking backwards is a little bit faster than just walking forward, because this fell down. In these segments you cannot run, so just some minor optimizations.
Booker, you've already been.
And there's another lighthouse door coming up here, but we're jumping into that door, and now we're jumping backwards and back out of the lighthouse. And this allows us to skip a little bit of the dialogue with the preacher, because we will be able to trigger the other side of, or the other lighthouse here as well. Only you have to wait until the preacher finishes his dialogue, but this way we can just accept the baptism right away. Not sure how much time it saves, probably like 10 seconds or something, but it's a fairly new skip. I think it was found by Distortion too.
You want to clean the slate, leave behind all you were before, and be born again in the blood of the Lamb. Jesus, wash this man clean. Father, make him born again. Lord,
stop it!
What are you doing to it? Get off me! Get off! Son!
You didn't go through with it.
You think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done?
So yeah, basically this epilogue is just opening a lot of doors, listening to a lot of dialogue, some plot twists, yada yada.
Not until we find Comstock.
It's not too exciting for the speedrun, but well, it belongs to the game, so we just have to sit through this. At least the two skips that we now figured out kind of make it interesting gameplay-wise, or a bit more interesting.
What of my debts?
Bring us the go.
Maybe we can also get a dialogue skip here.
Hired me to find you.
Really?
Yes, the girl for the debt. Wait, no, this is wrong. What is this? There was no baby. I remember. No, there was no baby, and if there was, I sure as hell wouldn't give it over to this guy.
Booker, you don't leave this room until you do.
Do it. Time is running short. Bring
us the girl and wipe away the debt.
Go ahead.
No.
You can wait as long as you want. Eventually, you'll give him what he wants.
So there was once like back when we didn't have the Hero on his Head mod, there was a race, coincidental race that I did with Fearful Ferret, the former world record holder. Like he was streaming, I was streaming, we both got Hero on his Head almost first try at the same time. So we basically had a race going at that point. It was pretty exciting, and I only, like, I was a bit behind, but then I got a dialogue skip here in the end, in the room with the baby. And that dialogue skip saved me, like, I don't know, 15 seconds or something. So in the end, Fearful Ferret and me only finished a couple of seconds apart from each other. I think he even got a new world record with that run. But yeah, it was a pretty exciting coincidental race.
What are we doing here?
This BioShock Infinite things. But yeah, also we can walk through Elizabeth thanks to the Prophet's Cabin skip we did earlier, saving minor amounts of fractions of time.
Million worlds. It's not over because the Prophet is dead. It will only be over when he never even lived in the first place.
Hey. Hey, the deal's off, you hear me?
Unstable.
The deal is off. Give her back.
Also, we just hit the estimate, PogChamp.
Give her back, you son of a bitch.
But yeah, it's only like 2 or 3 minutes left.
No. No.
And I have to blame 1.5 minutes on deck skip not well, playing with me.
Anna. No.
All good though. So a couple more doors to open, even though it's not really a door. I think this is like a pretty well written epilogue, despite it being a bit confusing at first. Come at me for that opinion.
One day, a man came to you.
And it's about firing shots, not hitting estimates. Also, here's a tear now appearing. We don't want to go through that tear too early, because there's a chance of you getting stuck in there. Booker getting stuck in there, and that would basically end the run, or would have needed a reset then.
You suppose he branded himself as some sort of penance? Don't see the point. What's done is done. What's done will be done. I suppose the brand is his hair shirt, as he is ours.
Wipe away the debt. Use the girl. Wipe away the debt.
See? He's starting to put his story together.
Wipe away
You're quite fond of this theory of yours.
He's manufacturing new memories from his old ones.
Well, the brain adapts.
I should know. I lived it.
Booker, wake up. Booker, wake up.
Last boat ride.
This is where it started.
This run. Have to go to the lighthouse. Time is when I actually open the door.
This is all Comstock's fault.
Yeah, I really think the test twins are the coolest NPCs in this game.
How would one know how far back to go?
That's the only way to do it. Go back to when he was born, and I'll smother the son of a bitch in his crib.
So here, I'm also walking backwards. It's faster again. At least if you don't bonk the wall. And I gotta know your way. And that's time. Oh, 1:52:34 RTA. All 2 minutes overestimate. But at least I got some skips, some hard skips first try, and was able to show off some of the cooler skips. Oh, also I could have accepted the baptism there, again, because the game is very confused.
Why are we back here?
This isn't the same place, Booker.
Of course it is. I remember.
Sometimes it can also happen that dialogue gets skipped here in this part, which is pretty funny to watch.
Away, but in other oceans, you didn't. You took the baptism. You were born again as a different man. It all has to end. To have never started. Not just in this world, but in all of ours.
In case you haven't noticed yet, Booker is Comstock.
Before a choice is made. Before
And Anna
you're
is
reborn.
Elizabeth.
He's Zachary Comstock. He's Booker DeWitt.
And both.
Both.
And yeah, we're getting drowned for the third or fourth time, I think. Anyway, BioShock Infinite, any percent, yeah, thanks for having me, thanks for having this run again. Even if it went overestimate, I think some of the near skips were cool to show off. And if you want to learn this run, now that we have kind of lowered the entry barrier with the HRH mod being a thing, feel free to hop on our Discord. We are very helpful. We can definitely show you the way how to run this game. And yeah, shots fired, I guess.